Well, I'm excited to jump into our Making Love podcast, into this episode about will, and basically kind of continue from the last episode. So we're really like in exploring different themes of our leadership program, our embodied leadership program. And last episode we talked about a first pillar of this program, which is desire. We talk about how basically there is like a cycle and how desire moves into the next one. And so today we are going to be introducing the topic of will. But first, maybe let's do like a little check-in. Yeah, it's a day before I leave.
Yeah, why don't you tell us where we are and when we are?
Yeah, exactly. I like to give a bit of context. So we're in your parents' house, and we're in Washington State, Long Beach, and tomorrow I will be flying back to Thailand. And I thought I will be flying on Monday, and today I figured out I'm flying already tomorrow. So I had to make a little time shift in my brain because we had some plans. But it was so good to use this time to talk about, to share about our work and our creation. I feel good. It's an afternoon. Last time we filmed it was morning. The one before was night, so now it's an afternoon. Mm-hmm. It's almost like we are testing the days on the different time periods.
That's fun. Always looks the same outside. Yes. I imagine the podcast, it's just gray.
It's probably...
all the different colors of gray, as I shared with you. The waters, the sky is beautiful. Gray is a beautiful color. Grays and blacks. That's what it is here in the winter.
Yeah. I'm enjoying that I can experience it, and then I can experience the autumn here in North America, because I'm going basically into summer, or like sunny weather and cold nights.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. But no autumn leaves and rain.
No.
All right. Well, I don't really know how to kind of go in, but maybe I'll just give it to you from here. Like, let's kind of be like in the movement of like desire, will, why?
Yeah.
What is it?
So I will start by asking you, what does free will mean to you? What is it?
Wow, that's a good question. Free will. First, I want to say, I never questioned that I had a free will. And I've been questioned by many people when the way how I live my life, I actually sort of always thought I have a free will, and my actions affect my reality, and I'm in power. While I had many people around me who were challenging this, and they were like, free will doesn't exist. You're just the victim of the circumstances and of your environment. So what does it mean to me? It means that that I believe and that I act in a way that when I want something in my life, I know that I can get there. And at the same, so I'm trusting, but I'm also moving towards it. And even though I know that I don't have, let's say, full power, I somehow always believe that maybe this is, that what I want I will get, which helped me to be where I'm at, which means like I left from Czech Republic when I was 14 and I ended up here, and I done so much in this 36 years of my life. So I don't know if that answers your question.
That's beautiful. Yeah. No, it's beautiful. I mean, I think what it makes me think of when you say you've never questioned it is that there's some part of you, again, from what I know of your story, that has had to get, we've talked about this, there's a like maybe there's, your spirit has been kind of not there at times, but you've had to be embodied, like you've had to be here. And it's felt very difficult at times as you were young. Like I know this from your trauma and just from your earlier than your dance career, but then also just to be a professional dancer and to get there, and to be, I would say, like being a professional athlete, like for someone that uses their body for work and hones it to house them, you have to be embodied. And I know that for you that started early. And so it just made me think like, oh, if you're embodied, there's something in you that knows that free will exists. And I've not thought of it like that. And then maybe there's something I think that also, I would say for me, free will is, it's like the gift that comes with being alive as a human. Actually, just being alive, like I would say that other beings have free will, but what we get to do as these beings with these bodies is so incredible. And so then to me, what is free will? It's not the ability to do anything. It's almost like here's how I think of free will. If something's going to happen to me, it's going to happen regardless. Like it's fate, it's fortune. I think that. And if I need to have an emotion because of that experience, I'm going to have that emotion. So it's like if something's got to happen to me, and I need to be I need to have something ripped away from me at some point in my experience, that's going to happen, and I'm going to feel a certain way. What I do when I feel that way is free will. And so it's like that I can feel a lot of things, reality around me can happen, but then if I feel this intense anger, let's say, there are different ways that I can be with that anger. If I feel angry at you, I can suppress it and pretend it's not there, and that creates a certain scenario for myself. I can tell you, that creates a certain scenario that I'm drawing you into and that you have to now manage, or I can project it at you. That creates a whole new scenario. Or I can just, I think it's kind of one of those three, and I'm sure then there's like lots of different other ones. So I think that we have this ability. This is what free will is for me. It's not what happens to us, but it's how we reply, how we respond. How we reply. And then what you said is you get what you want. Through that, I do believe that we can create our experience. Yeah. It's just really hard. So that's what I will maybe start with free will, and then we'll go into, I want to hear your response, but then maybe we can bring it back to how it follows desire, and maybe how this might be what I would ask you, like how is will and the energy of will summer energy? Like if we're following, if desire is spring energy and then something's happening, so maybe you can draw it in there, or you can just respond.
Beautiful, thank you. That's beautiful, because I so believe with you that it is often, it's like we have a desire, like we go somewhere, I dream something, but then if I believe I have free will, it is really in these moments about like, how do I respond? How do I react to what's happening to me? What's the universe kind of bringing to me? Because often the times, especially, I do believe that I receive what I ask for. I just don't know in which form. And in my little human self, it would be silly to even be like, oh, I figured it out, and this is coming to me this way and that way, and so it's really more I feel the will. It's more about like how I respond to what's coming to me, and that's where I have the will. But then to talk about this free will, as you spoke, I was like, I think the reason that I moved so fast in my life, and like, because you mentioned the professional like athleticism, and there's a discipline, and there is like you do basically, you go into action, and you're also like I was very embodied, but also there was a fact that, and I think this is thanks to my father and how he raised me when I was little. He told me everything is possible. Everything in this world is possible. Like, I am the creator of my life, which gave me, I never questioned. And I could have questioned everything because I came from a poor family, Czech Republic. My parents never left our country, didn't speak English. I didn't speak any language. And when I was 14, I was adopted by a family in order for them to support my dance career. My parents didn't have the money for it. Mm-hmm. So there was, universe gave us, my mother met this family, this person who knew the family, like how even that can play out. And then it was just like, they trusted, they were like, this is meant to be. She's gonna move and these guys gonna provide for her for 1 year and pay her, like she can start to do her dance career.
You moved to Switzerland from Czech to go to a dance school, and you didn't see your family at all.
Yeah,
and that's how it really started. That's how professionalism began. Wow,
yeah,
that's incredible.
And I was 14. I was very little, and I didn't speak any language. So now I ended up in a French family, speaking different language, and so then my life sort of unfolded that way. And I remember I would be often faced with people on my journey, especially when I came to actually Canada. A lot of privileged people, and they were like, well, it's not possible because this and that, and and the people in Africa cannot do that because this and that. And I was like, to a certain degree, yes, I do believe some of us are really born in a condition where there's not much we can do, but still, it, as you said, it is about how we respond. So I'm sure that we don't actually know about somebody who is in a very difficult condition. Maybe he's actually living his best version of his life because he believes he has a free will. So he can make the best out of what's coming to him in the everyday basis. And I think in my journey, I was in the moments when it wasn't just pleasant. It was really, really hard and really terrible. But I just trusted that I can somehow make the best out of it. Mm-hmm. And I did, so because I wasn't questioning, I just went into the action. So that, I think, brings me into the summer energy, or like into this, when we talk about will and why after desire, it is important now to move, to do, because I think that's where we like get stuck. It's like we have these beliefs, and then we're like, how, but we don't know how. Like it's actually like, it's not about knowing how and when, and that would be more control, that would be more, and so then I think often we can get stuck. While if we just,
you want to speak to that control a little bit, just go in there and maybe just to juxtapose what will is and what this control that you're speaking to is, because that feels rich. I don't fully wow. So maybe say a little bit about it.
Yeah, that's good, because that would bring me to my question that I had for you. I do feel like there is a difference between what you just brought up, which is this like free will for the both of us is not manipulating, controlling reality and being, let's say, like disciplined in something and being like, oh, if I do this, I will get that. That's not, I think that's not what we believe will is. But the free will, I believe, is more like I have a direction, and now I just kind of like go into it. Like I kind of take the leap. Like maybe even I'm falling, but in the falling, I'm reacting in my way to what's coming to me, and that's shifting me in the direction, probably towards my deep desire, or like the direction of my soul. While I feel the control, we can also, I feel like we can get really good at will, but it's more like this, like almost like military will. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be, and I could see this also in my career, like I'm gonna be best at jumping and turning 60 pirouettes. And then you kind of get stuck, you narrow everything, but you are actually not allowing anything else, like it's like, yeah, it's like your world becomes this one thing. And I feel there lies mastery, some sort of mastery, but the mastery is limited. It's like, it's just this one thing.
Okay.
And I think that's when we become in control in our actions, then it becomes narrow. So it's very personal, and it's kind of maybe just not so aligned anymore, maybe. I don't know.
Can I say something about it?
Please.
Well, I think that's perfect. It's like, I think you're bringing the artistic, so you're like 60 pirouettes. I think of this in art a lot. There's a time when like a pianist or a painter or somebody has to just learn the like technique, but I don't want to be. It's kind of disconnected from art. Really,
yeah.
It's like, so mastery and art are not the same thing. It's another way of saying mastery and life aren't the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like I think of this, what you're saying in Will. I think of the Tao is a river. Everything is flowing. The I Ching is things flowing through, and Eastern philosophy I quite love for just practical wisdom for how to move through the world. Like it makes a lot of sense to me. So I would think of this in that framework as Will is knowing where you're going and jumping into the river. Where you meet creatures in there, you meet rocks, the current's crazy, you might drown. Like as soon as you jump in, you have no control over the current. Mastery is operating on the edges. And like, so you're able to, it's like those of us, we live in this funny colonizer world right now, where I think a lot of us live on the edges. Like we're not actually participating in life and in the flow of it. We're just pretending on the edges that we've got it all figured out. But
we're actually not in the river.
We're not actually in life. We're just making funny stories, and we've got like funny hats on, and we've got funny clothes on, and we're all, as long as everybody's on the edge pretending that it's real, we can believe it's real. But as soon as one person jumps in and starts like having an experience, which I think is a little bit of what's happening in this time, is as a species in many different places, we're jumping in. Very few of us, like, maybe less than 5% or 10%, but this is often how change happens at our species level. Is that, so I think that we've been on the edges for some hundreds or maybe a few thousand years. And suddenly we're like, wait, like, we're not actually playing with things. And so will is until you get in.
Jumping in.
It's the jumping in and falling. It's because you don't know how it's going to go.
Trusting.
But it's trusting. So then you're trusting the current.
And surrendering.
And in Lao Tzu with the Tao, the Ching, it's like you can learn how to operate in there. You don't have to, like, you get the shit kicked out of you for a while, and then you find yourself on the shore again and you dust yourself off and you're like, okay, I need to know how to swim. Maybe I make a raft. Like there's ways to play with it. You don't just have to be a victim of the river, yet you do have to get in. And that to me is what will is.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I just had this image actually as you spoke, because it is really like many years of my life learning technique in my body. So in order to do many pirouettes, even if there's this well, and I feel like that you see actually when you see a true master in anything, you surrender. So if I will be like, oh my God, I really want to like turn for, and I could see it, like you get contracted, and I would usually fall. And what I learned in the dance is like, the more I overthink it, the more I'm like trying to be too perfect, the more I will fail, and the more it will be painful, because then also my ego is like, and then I've developed a little bit of a fear because I'm like, oh man, I couldn't turn it now. Like so it's a very mind fuck. Like so like the well, I love it. It's a jumping in, and it's not giving up, just going like trying over and over. But when you're turning or when you do whatever technique stuff, as you're learning it, even in the process of learning, you still actually, once you're in it, you have to let go, but then also like be conscious in your body. And as you said, like you can navigate, but you will not know until you're in it. So you can figure it. So I think the control is like, it's like you imagining that you can do it and you do it perfectly, but that's not true. It's actually in the doing once you're in there. And then it's about how you
nothing
navigate.
No learning happens, no growth happens until you're in the river.
And then you
either drowning or living, basically. So that's what I'm hearing you say, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you go on stage, and it's like, even on stage, you still don't know if you're gonna.
You just have confidence.
No, that's the beauty. You still don't know if you're gonna make these pirouettes, but you just go for it. Yeah. And now you have these people witnessing you. So it's like, okay, I'm trusting.
And how could you? So then, like, if you zoom out, how could you feel more alive than not knowing whether you're going to pull it off, having a bunch of people watch you, and then nailing it? And is there any other reason? I mean, yes, I think that there are other reasons, but like that's aliveness. Like in those moments, you can feel that's why live. Like that's full life. Like that's, you're experiencing the unknown and finding your own self and your own center in it. So there's something really, really rich.
Yeah.
I think can I move us? I just wanted to come back to that. So what I'm hearing, and then maybe we can kind of land Will, but the kind of the place where desire turns into will, and this is what I would like. It believes it's a moment of action, but it's actually a moment of meeting the mystery and saying screw it. Like it's the
saying
moment.
Yes.
It's the moment. Yeah, it's a yes, but then you're like, I feel it as like jumping into cold water. There's a moment where you can decide to jump into cold water. You can look at the cold water. You can think about the cold. And then there's a moment where your balance tips. And you're just like, screw it. And it's that moment of will. And once you do it, you're in. In the embodied leadership program, that's the beginning where desire turns into will. It's right there. Where spring turns into summer, it's right there. It goes from an idea, I'm going to jump in the water, to I just jumped. And like, it's almost imperceptible. Yeah.
I'm wondering, so I think we captured pretty well like this motion and what, like how the will feels and why is it important. I'm wondering what stops us from cultivating such a, like what's the blockages, why people don't go there, or Yeah,
I can say some words about that. I think. Well, I think the obvious one is desire is easy to loop in. So the first thing is there's a lot of our world, and you can see it. It might be in an individual scenario. It might be someone that has a hard time actually starting things. Like there's even I think that there's it can be the very rich, the ones that aren't starting new initiatives, that are just enjoying the fruits of someone else's labor, and there's nothing actually happening. There's no there. So I think a lot of us can get trapped in desire, and we can basically have an idea, get really close to the idea, and then have a new idea, and you're just looping in desire. And we can convince ourselves, if we do that with enough people, let's say if we do that with a town, you can just do nothing for a couple hundred years really easily as a species. You can just have ideas and not really grow anywhere. So that's one, you can avoid will. I think the other way is you can kind of do what you're talking. You can like control the whole time. So you can get really good at managing the river, but never actually let yourself go in it, which is probably closer to what we have. It's almost like you can't avoid some movement if you're actually going to do anything. And we do a lot individually and collectively, not all of us. And I think but I think we try and build a safe scenario for something it's a quintessential part of life, is to jump in and be unsafe. And so we're managing around the experience. And I would say that's how we're doing. And then we'll get to the next pillar, what you're missing when you do it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling also victimhood. There's, I would say some of us stay in this victimhood. That's like, I was born there, this is my childhood, I can never get there. And it's almost like I'm just a victim of circumstances and of my environment. And it's almost like it doesn't allow me to even see that I could be doing something else. Because, oh my God, I have pain in my knees and I have this problem there. And it's almost like the problems and the reasons why not to do anything becomes the living, like the living experience of the everyday. So I would say that one I also felt. And then as I was listening to you, I think actually there's something big. I feel like to truly embark into will that is this, I would say free will, but it's this uncontrolled will, is this jumping into the mystery. We need to go through a threshold of meeting our fear. To a certain degree.
You want me to answer? I don't believe...
No, you don't?
Well,
yeah, no, I would like to hear...
Well, first I would just... I'm not saying it's a no, but we're making it this big to do. And it is, but it's really just... Will is an embodied experience. It's like at its purest, it's not mental. So if you're thinking about moving, then you're not moving. I think that's a lot of... It's like planning. All the planning happens in desire, and then everything happens along the way in will. And I think that's just really hard for us. Like our ancestors might have had that pretty well dialed because they didn't have structures and societies and cities. So it's just like
they
life
had a choice.
Yeah, like life is coming. When the weather changes, the herds change. Like there are other tribes, so life is coming at you all the time, and so it wouldn't have been even a thought of like, we know how to move. We live in a world where it's actually easy to be sedentary, and to some degree, we're asked to be like the systems force us into that sedentariness. So it's really just I would say it this way: if you're thinking. The amount of thinking you're doing is the amount of movement or will that you're not doing. Like you kind of can't do both at the same time.
I got it. But what I'm feeling is, in order for me to come from my mind to my body, and that's actually very difficult.
Okay.
It's not easy.
And that's the fear.
That's the fear.
Okay.
Because even if I say I'm gonna go for jogging, and then I start to think about, oh no, but tomorrow I'm gonna have pain in my calf muscle.
Totally.
This is the moment. And so I feel like in order to go into the body and trust the body and go into the action, there's this like seeing what the mind starts to say, because she probably says a lot of things why not to, and that's the fear, and that's the uncomfort, basically being willing to go into uncomfort. And then, but also like in a way, or maybe changing mindset and being like, no, this is going to be amazing. Like seeing the result,
but that's,
or like the excitement.
I need to say like that's only the beginning. So really it's a mindset the whole time through will, because every time you're scared of something, you look at it and then you move, because you're in will for a time. It's not just one thing. Like you jumped into the water to swim somewhere. Like
it persists.
And the fear will come.
Yeah,
in fact, it'll come a lot more once you're swimming. Once you've taken 7 strokes and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so you actually have to tell yourself before you start to do it. But then you just have to be like, fear is going to come. The mind is going to come. And I'm going to meet it however I meet it. And I think that this is a beautiful, I don't know if it's the finish of this podcast, but there's a reason why on the other side of will, or on the other side of summer, is autumn. And it's the time of integration, and it's the time of pulling everything together, and it's the time of harvest, and it's the time of truth. So in our 4 pillars, truth comes after, because in will, you're not thinking. It is a experience of looking at your thinking and then moving through it, and maybe allowing it to lead. I think we can work with it, and we do in a lot of different ways in the pillars. But the fear is something that's just going to be there. And then as you grow in life and as we become stronger, we start to meet fear as a friend. But it doesn't go away. We just interact with it in a new way.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So basically, I feel like while we in the will, we're cultivating courage and we're cultivating trust, because we said that there's trust. So trust, courage, also like surrendering to what's coming. And then knowing that as we come out of it, we will get wiser, and we will we're in a big learning embodied experience going through will, which is action.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that sounds exciting, and I think for the beauty of like somebody who isn't so natural. There's like a lot of like mind stuff. I feel like in this pillar, we are really giving the support by like this embodiment practices, and helping ones to feel the support in their body, because I feel so our bodies are so wise in this, because once body starts to run, it starts to love it.
Yes.
So there is like also once we trust our body and we put our body into motion, into action, the body is like really happy. But there's like tools and ways to get
That's
there.
beautiful. I mean, I would say the body is happy the whole time. The body likes to move. The body likes to be in experience. It's us that gets comfortable in the body.
As the mind.
As the mind, yeah, like our ego gets being like, okay, I'm going to follow. But it feels good to be moving. It feels good to be in cold water. It feels good to be in new experience. It feels good to be
Out of comfort.
To have butterflies in our stomach. We forget. It feels good. We like it.
It's
and then we
life.
go, it's life. And so I think yes, our program, a big part of it, the work, I think, is will. And the honest truth is, it's hard. Like it's a big part of just growing. And it takes actually a lot of cycles. It takes an athlete or a dancer many years to get to that place. But we can't hold, say, the best athletes. I mean,
It gets easier.
it gets easier, and the most perfect isn't to be, and I think this is what I'm wanting to say with all of these words, the most perfect embodiment of will isn't to be, Musashi called it no mind. But he called it no mind because it wasn't the absence of mind. It wasn't like it's that for him, Musashi is the Japanese warrior poet. He's the best swordsman to ever exist in Japan, and I think his life was in the late 15 to 1600s. I don't have that perfect. He described essentially like what I would say is pure will as no mind, but it was where his body and his mind were so, if you read his work, they're just perfectly aligned. And so that's why it feels good. It's that we're in sync. And that's why when we look at a star athlete or we look at a beautiful dancer, it's not that they're out of mind. Actually, the body and the mind together are to be that beautiful and to be able to be that precise. But getting to that takes first just being like, okay, I've got to witness the mind and just do the repetition.
It takes
and go in.
failure.
It takes so much failure.
It takes basically the action and then the failing and action again, and it's this like standing up again and doing again and falling and standing up. It's beautiful. And I was something as you were speaking, I was like, the flow state.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, the flow state, the no mind. Like I really feel it like as this flow state, and what it is, as we spoke about the river, is to being also fully present, like fully. And that's the beauty of embodiment. Like if you, any embodiment practices is a meditative state. It's like the mind is basically connected to what's happening in the moment. It's not in the future, it's not in the past. It's like right here, right now, doing what it wants to do.
Can I put words to that? I can just ask you. So, the practice of embodiment isn't getting out of the mind. And I think this is so important. We should say this every time. The practice of embodiment is bringing the mind into the body.
Yes.
And bringing maybe other things into the body, but it's marrying those things because they can only exist together now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
And so those are the practices. And then if you can do that well, You can lead, you can exist, you can operate with all of the unknown mystery, and it's enjoyable and it's fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful.
High summer energy.
And the body's always in the now.
Yeah, the body's like, what?
It's like,
what are you doing? Like,
it's not
you're just
living in
sitting
the
on me?
future in the past.
Yeah, the body's
like,
like,
it's
oh,
right
I'm so
here.
bored.
Yeah. Beautiful. I feel like we gave a good dive into this topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.